So today we're going to be putting together this wonderfully simple pasta dish using some of the ingredients from a few of the recipes we've made over the last few weeks. So we have some of our ricotta gnocchi, a little bit of red onion, some of our homemade Italian sausage, our oven roasted Roma tomatoes, arugula, parmesan cheese, some cream, and a little bit of olive oil. So to get this started, I have my pan on the stove here, about a medium-high heat. We're just going to give it a little bit of olive oil to start. We don't need too much. The Italian sausage is going to render a fair bit of fat out. We're going to let that heat up. While that's warming up, I'm just going to grab myself a spoon here. Now, it's important that we let the pan heat up. We add the oil. We let the oil heat up before we add anything else to that. Just a few notes about some of these ingredients. This is one of those great pasta dishes where I'm just using a bunch of leftovers. When I made the gnocchi video and we did some pasta dishes with that, I froze this. When we did the oven roasted Roma tomatoes, I had some extra and I froze those. And then when we did the Italian sausage, I had a little bit left and I froze that. So this is kind of what I love about pasta. It's so versatile and you can use up all kinds of odds and ends in here. So I'm gonna add my Italian sausage. I'm just kind of breaking it up a little bit. I don't want it finely ground in here. I still want some little chunks, but I don't want them so big that it's going to take too long to cook. We're just adding that in there. I've used my hands to break it down a little bit, but I can also use my spoon here as well. So while that is cooking down, we'll just move some of this off to the side. I'm just going to slice up my onion here. I have a quarter of a red onion. Again, this was just something that was left over from a video I did yesterday. We can dice it, we can julienne it, whatever you want to do for this. I'm just going to do a quick julienne here. Like so, and then I'll just kind of make sure it's all broken up nicely. I'm not going to add any garlic to this. There is some garlic in the Italian sausage, but if you are a real garlic lover, you can add a little bit more in here. The sausage is cooking up nicely here, so I want to add my onions now to give them a chance to cook in that beautiful olive oil and the fat that's coming out of that sausage, just like so. At this point, I will add a little bit of pepper, and I'll add a little bit of salt, maybe a touch more here. And I just want to start cooking these onions down so they're nice and translucent. Now, if you wanted to at this point, you could, if you had any Swiss chard, you could chop it up and throw it in here. Some mushrooms, whether, wild mushrooms, regular cultivated mushrooms would go great at this point. Sweet peppers would go beautifully in here. Some sliced up fennel. There's lots of different things you can do with this. And again, this is why I love pasta so much, because there is so much you can do. So at this point now, my onions have started to soften up. Oh, the smell of this sausage is absolutely amazing. The sausage is almost getting to the point where it's cooked. We still have this over a medium-high heat. Now, before I add some of my cream here, if there's any larger pieces that you want to break down, now is the time to kind of get your spoon in there and do that. You can see the nice sized pieces we have going on in here. Now I'm going to add some cream. It's about 1.5 cups of cream to start with here. Now we want to reduce this down a little bit. So anytime I'm reducing cream, I always try to make sure I've got a spoon or something by, keeping a close eye on it because you don't want it to boil over and make a mess of your stove. If you're doing a large batch of cream reduction, if you start to see it bubble up, you can just remove it from the heat, take a spoon or a whisk and incorporate some air into it and it'll come back down. So this has come up to boil here pretty quick here. We still have it on a nice medium-high heat. Now I'm going to add my cooked gnocchi. Because as this reduces down, we're going to finish heating up the gnocchi. Okay. Tomatoes we're going to chop up because we'll add these at the end. And these also, if you remember this recipe, it has a little bit of garlic on here already, so we'll be adding the garlic at this point as well. Just do a coarse chop. Now if you didn't have these kicking around, some sun-dried tomatoes would be really nice. We're going to add the arugula. I'm just going to coarsely chop. So I've just trimmed off, we want to get rid of any of these large thick stems from the arugula. This is going to add a nice pepperiness to it. You can see the temperature. We're still getting nice heat there. Going to turn it up just a touch, and then we're going to give it a taste now at this point. So we're getting some beautiful flavors now coming from the sausage in there, all the spices in there with the sausage, pepper, a little bit more salt. I'm not going to go too crazy with the salt because I am adding some Parmesan cheese at the end. Now what we're trying to do is we're going to thicken this up by the reduction. Now if you didn't have Italian sausage, we could have started this dish off with some bacon, would have been really nice. We could have rendered out some pancetta in here as well. What else we could have done if we wanted to omit that at the beginning, we could have just sauteed some onions, a little bit of garlic, added the cream and the gnocchi. Then we could have added some chopped up prosciutto in there to give it just another crazy good Italian flavor. So again, if this is your dinner when you're cooking this at home, open your fridge, see what's kicking around. You know, sometimes I have like peas left from dinner, a little bit of roasted corn left from dinner. Those would go really good in here. I'm going to add my tomatoes now. Look at that. Beautiful. You can just see that looks great. So simple this. Quick, easy. Like I said, when you make the gnocchi, if you watch the video on making the gnocchi, it freezes really well. It's always nice to have in the freezer ready to go. If you didn't have the gnocchi, don't worry about it. Just cook off some pasta. We're going to grate up some of our Parmesan cheese here. Now I'm going to add some cheese to the sauce. We're going to add some after. When we do add the cheese to the sauce, it will tighten up the sauce a little bit as well. So I like lots of cheese. No Parmesan, no problem. Other cheeses I would use in here. Oh, a little bit of like a chèvre would go really nice. Just add that little bit of zip to it. That would just really work well with the sausage and the arugula. If you're a blue cheese lover, a nice creamy or a sharp blue cheese in here would go very nice. As Asiago cheese would go wonderfully in here. Mascarpone. So again, whatever is in your fridge and you need to use up, you can grab some and throw it in here. While that's finishing up, I'm just going to go grab a bowl. This is my lunch today. And you can see now how beautifully this is reducing down. Now, how much sauce you want in the bowl when you're done is up to you. You know, when I worked in Italian restaurants, it was always, you wanted no sauce left in the bowl. You just wanted enough sauce to coat the noodles. On the other hand, I like a little bit of sauce at the bottom because I want to dig in there with some focaccia bread when I'm done. So if you want the sauce a little bit thicker, you can reduce it down a little bit more. If you want it a little bit runnier, so you can do a little bit of dipping at the end. Don't reduce it down quite so much. I'm just going to give this one more try. So that Parmesan's added a little bit of saltiness to it, and a touch more of that. A little bit more pepper. I love lots of pepper in my cream sauces. I'm going to add a touch of salt in here. And I might even, we'll see how I feel, I might even add myself a little bit of chili flakes later on. So there we go. This is good to go. I'm going to knock the heat off. I'm going to serve this up. Make sure I get lots of that sausage in there. Tomatoes. This will feed 2 people, 3 to 4 if you want to use it as an appetizer.
Non più tra i farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle